People tend to listen better to people who are like them. So that's why I chose to talk to people in North India. That also dictated our language of choice, Hindi, which is the most commonly spoken language here, which worked out to my advantage because I speak so much worse in English. Now, having cultural and religious context is also very important because then you know you're not going to hurt somebody's sensibilities, because when you do that they just shut down and they're not listening to you. Recently we made a video about halal meat and we showed a depiction of Prophet Muhammad which was culturally very inappropriate. So people just focused on that and entirely missed the point of the video. So this is a perfect example of what not to do. People we try to converse with through our videos are people who haven't yet thought about the issue, they haven't yet connected the dots. These are not people who have thought about the issue and decided to rationalize it away. These are people who believe either they're good or they want to be good. These are the metaphorical lowest hanging fruit. Now, a disadvantage awareness faces as opposed to education is people are looking to get educated. Hardly anyone is looking to get aware. People are looking for self improvement, they are looking for information on current trending topics, they are looking for entertainment. So you need to find an overlap, a commonality between what they want and what you want them to want. So that's why I tend to weave my message in a narrative that's aligned with what they are seeking. That's where stories come in. It could be something I've seen, it could be a fictional story, it could be story from my personal life, because no matter how diverse the human experience is, there is a huge overlap of emotion in certain experiences that when you manage to tap into, people go like, huh, that I understand, that I get, I can get behind that. We also try to frame issues in a way where 90% of the people would agree with us. So when we are talking about stray dogs and birth control, so we're not talking about it out of compassion for the poor dogs. We are talking about there's just too many dogs on the street. We need to control that. Almost everybody would agree. When we talk about meat eating, we are talking about animals feel pain. It's a fact. We talk about animals shouldn't be tortured. Even people who eat meat would agree with that statement. Now, when we are talking about milk, we are not talking about how well the cows are kept, because forget objective reality. The perception is that cows are kept like family members in Indian villages. So that's what we are up against. So we are not going to go there. We talk about how old cows are abandoned on the streets. You can just see it. There's so many cows on the street. We talk about how old buffaloes are slaughtered, because it's on television that India is like one of the top beef exporters. Now the message we weave, it has to have a call to action. भाई मुद्दा मन हल्का करना नहीं है ना, मुद्दा बदलाव लाना है. And this call to action, it has to be gentle. It has to be a nudge, not a push. Most importantly, it has to be respectful. You're trying to sell these people awareness, so you got to treat them like a client. Now, it's very hard to respect people who indulge in behaviors that you do not approve of. So, remembering a few things helps you stay respectful. For one, these people didn't choose to be the way they are. People are largely a product of their upbringing, so it's not their fault. Second, you are flawed too. I indulge in behaviors that carry a suffering footprint. I eat chips, and they indirectly cause suffering. I've joined Snackaholics Anonymous, still struggling. Third, the point where we are at, we've taken time to get there. We have processed information, we've gotten our questions answered, we've taken time to adjust our lifestyle. Now, because we know the issue so well, there's this sense of urgency. But instead of that translating into effective messaging, it translates into this abrasive enthusiasm, like, where we want people to go from 0 to 100 as soon as we tell them about the issue. And that's not very pragmatic. That just pushes people away. I think approaching it like a friend, like a guide, like a teacher is so much better, where you ask them questions, you give them food for thought, you let them come to conclusions that they can own. Think of like becoming a teacher you have never had for a subject that you are not good at. Your chances of being heard are so much higher when you take the I understand approach instead of you are wrong. approach. And these conversations, they are also a negotiation. You're trying to get people to give up something. You're trying to get them to pay a cost today with the promise that they will feel better tomorrow. So sometimes it becomes necessary for you to give them a discount. If being vegan is a big ask today, so try being veganish. At the end of the day, you're trying to get people over to your side, and it's done so much better trying to win hearts than trying to win arguments.